Hi, everybody. My name is Baldwin, and I would like to tell you of God's goodness. So, back in October of last year, I had vision disturbances. At certain times, my vision would be blocked, not entirely, but it would be as if there was like a dot that would block a part of my vision. The week prior, I had a very intense headache. And I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and and within this conversation, I told them, "Hey, I've been having disturbances with my vision. What do you think? I know you're not a doctor, but what are your thoughts?" So they recommended that I go get my eyes checked. Excuse me. And I remember when I asked my mom if we can get a referral from my doctor, and basically I was able to get a referral to an ophthalmologist instead of an optician. And honestly, I'm glad that we went a step above and just saw an ophthalmologist. A couple of weeks, a week or two later, I had the appointment. And with that, I was thinking, okay, I'm just most likely going to have to get glasses. So they check my eyes, do a couple of tests, and the ophthalmologist comes in the room and looks at my eyes. My eyes are fine. He looks at the veins behind my eyes and he informs me that I should go to the ER because the veins behind my eyes were swollen, extremely swollen. And I remember being shocked. I remember being in my car and even driving. I'm like, God, what's happening? I thought I was supposed to get my eyes checked and everything and whatnot. What's happening? On the way back home, I called my mom and told her of the situation. When I got home, we drove to doctor's hospital, got a CT scan and an MRI. Found out that I had hydrocephalus, a lot of fluid in the brain. And after I had that MRI, I had to get airlifted via helicopter to Washington Hospital Center. And I remember being at the helicopter terrified. I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to say, "Oh yeah, I was brave." I was terrified. And I just prayed to God for mercy. I did not know. I didn't know what to make of this. The early that afternoon, I was thinking, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to get my eyes checked." To, "Oh yeah, you have to go to the ER and get airlifted via helicopter." And I was just asking God again for His mercy and for His grace, and just again forgiveness of sins and whatnot. So this all happened on a Tuesday, and Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning, I landed at hospital center. Got my got a rundown of essentially what's been going on. That there was a blockage, and that the neurospinal fluid that would flow through my brain and whatnot uh, couldn't, and it just started to build up in my brain. They actually had to put an external shunt, and they drained, I believe, about 700 cc's worth of fluid. And from what I'm told by my mom and other individuals, that it's a lot. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, I had to, of course, just like prepare for the surgery because I was in the hospital at that point. Second day, Thursday. So, I had Thanksgiving there, had friends and family visit. And Friday was when I was going to get my internal shunt, which is what I have now. It was scary before, be, because with everything that was happening, I was thinking that, like, okay, I'm just going to get glasses, and then now it's just like, oh yeah, brain surgery. It's just like, God, if you want to show out, now's the time. And I just couldn't know what to make of it. Being honest with you all. And I remember the song Jesus Promised came into my head, and I, kept on singing in my head, and, I just thought, hey, Jesus promised he'll take care of me. It says so in his word. If he cares for the sparrows, why would he not care for me? It's Bible. Had a close family friend early that Friday morning come in, pray with mom and I, and whatnot, and I was at peace. And because at the end of the day, I've always said to my friends that God could come back any day or I could die any day. Which one am I ready for? So I just figured, hey, I know how the story ends, so have faith. So, and again, that's the one thing I want to say. It wasn't easy getting to that point. I just kept on remembering that God cares and God loves me. And I remember when they were pushing my hospital bed into the operating room, and I just kept on singing Jesus Promised in my head and whatnot, or just humming it. And I remember when they injected me with the anesthesia and whatnot, and then the next thing I knew, I was slowly getting back consciousness. I remember like did this. I remember asking my mom, did everything go well? Did the surgery go well and whatnot? Was I good? Was I a good patient? I vaguely remember asking that question. And God has been good. He has been very good. Because the neurosurgeon told me that if the issue wasn't addressed the way it was, that I could have been blind in both of my eyes or dead. I know that's heavy. I'm just I'm just grateful to God that he intervened. I'm grateful that I listened to my friend who recommended that I go get my eyes checked. And I'm just grateful for life. I'm grateful for strength. Now, I would love to say that, like, oh, yeah, and, like, everything is good right now. Being truthful with you all, it's okay. I see that I am in, for lack of better words, I would say in my wilderness season, but not necessarily alone. Rather, this is just one of the most toughest and, at least for right now, challenging seasons of my life ever. I thought my life was, I thought the most intense challenge of my life was my father passing away in 2023. Whew. Staring face to face with your own mortality is absolutely sobering. But I am encouraged. I'm encouraged because no matter what happens, the devil is a defeated foe, as my Aunt Betty would say. And I know how the story ends. God wins, point blank, period. And all things work together for those who love God. And even though I don't know at this moment in time how this all ends, I mean, not how it ends, like what happens before we get to the ending, doesn't mean that God has forgotten me. I ask that you keep me in prayer, my friends, my family, and whatnot. And I encourage whoever is watching this, make time with God. He loves you and he cares for you. There's nothing too small or too big that is something that like is out of his jurisdiction. It's all within his jurisdiction. I just encourage you to abide in him. And if He cares for me, despite all my failures, despite my mistakes, and everything else I can remember about myself, I know for a fact that He's there for you. I pray that this was encouraging, and I know God is going to see all of us through. Blessings.